Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another YouTube lesson. Today we are doing lesson 3.2.1. The first part of chapter 3 was all about graphing, taking a rule, making a table, creating a graph. Okay, that was part 1. That's 3.1. That's the 1. Okay, here we are in the second half of chapter 3, 3.2, and this is going back to a chapter 2 idea. We're going to be talking quite a bit about equations, okay? We're going back to the equations idea. So today what we need to do is we're using our equation mat, and what's really handy for today is going back to CPM, and here in CPM you'll notice, okay, that we have E tool to use. That would be fantastic for your use today. So today we're going to start off with problem 3-70. So let's go ahead and take a look at what problem 3-70 is asking. It says, for this activity, share algebra tiles and an equation mat with your partner. And what we need to do is we need to go through the work of doing legal moves and recording on our mat. So the first thing that we need to do on our paper in our math notebook is write down exactly what I see. I see, and at the top it should say left expression, right expression, and over here it says explanation. Okay, that's the top heading. So on the left we have 4x plus 1 minus parentheses. Remember, minus parentheses is what's down below, and we have 6. There's an equal sign, that's the center, and on the right-hand side, I have 2x plus 3. Now, we taught 5 legal moves in chapter 2, and so it's time to revisit those, and let's go ahead and go to this so that we can do these legal moves. Remember, the first legal move we always look for is a zero pair. So a zero pair is when we have a tile matched with a tile that are opposites. These two tiles are opposites because one minus the region off the board. Are there any more zero pairs? No, there are no more zero pairs. So on your paper in the second row, you write what you see. 4x minus parentheses, we now have 5 equals 2x plus 3. Remember, that was a zero pair. Our next legal move that we look for, I always tell you, after a zero pair, you do a bottom to top flip. So I'm going to take these 5 tiles that are in the negative region, flip them up. And when I flip them up, they all become negative. And I record 4x minus 5 equals 2x plus 3. Now, this is something that mathematically doesn't look that different. Notice the previous one was minus parentheses 5. Okay, but on the mat, we need to understand what's happening here. Now, what we just did was a bottom to top flip. Okay, our third legal move, zero pair, bottom to top flip. And number 3 is a balance. A balance is when you have matching tiles in matching regions. There's x and x, balance. X and x, balance. Okay, and I write what I see. I see on my left-hand side that I have 2x minus 5. And on my right-hand side, I have 3. That was a balance. A balance. My fourth legal move. Okay. How do I get the variable separated from the constants? I notice that I have my 2 variables here, but I also have these negative 5. These negative 5 should not be with my variables. I want to flip them over. But if I'm going to flip them over, what do I need to do to the sign? Flip, 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 flip. Okay? This is a side-to-side flip. 2x plus, I now have 8. That was a side-side flip. Okay? Side-to-side flip. Now that I've done this side-to-side flip, my next legal move is I need to make equal groups. Instead of 2x equaling 8, I need to split these up into 2 equal groups. Now, notice no tiles disappeared, but instead of focusing on 2x equals 8, I now have 2 groups of x. I've got x singled out. X equals 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. That is called a regroup. Okay? A regroup. Now, the purpose of this lesson today is, how do I know that I'm right? Am I right because Mr. McCoy's the teacher and he always gets it right? And let me tell you, Mr. McCoy is always perfect. Wait, that's not right. Mr. McCoy is not perfect. Mr. McCoy is a human being who makes mistakes all the time. So what do we do mathematically to know that we are correct? That's the beautiful thing about math, is you can know for certain that you know you're right. But you have to know how to check your solution. What I want you to do is I want you to pause and I want you to think, can I think of a way to check my solution? If you know how, there's an area off to the right-hand side in your notebook that you can figure that out. Let's go to our next problem, 3-71. What is a solution? In this lesson, you have found a solution to an algebraic equation. We just found the solution x equals 4. But what exactly is a solution? Answer each of these questions with your study team, but do not use algebra tiles. Be prepared to justify your answers. So here's what you are going to do at home. Okay? You're going to read A, B, and C. And then you are going to decide, is he correct? Is he correct? How do you know? So your answer should sound a lot like this. He is correct because, or he is not correct because. I want you to answer on your own A, B, and C. Pause the video now. Okay, you should have A and B done. Let's check your answer for letter C. With your partner, discuss what you think a solution to an equation is. Write down a description of what you and your partner agree on. A solution is what makes both sides of an equation the same. A solution is the answer that makes both sides of that equation the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in the next couple problems how to verify your work. Okay? Now, I want you to notice I am not going to use tiles on letter A, but I am going to still use the legal moves. Because you at home, you might be using your CPM book, your e-tool, to figure this out. So here we go. My left expression, 3x plus 4 equals x plus 8 original. First legal move, 0 pairs. Are there any? Nope, no 0 pairs. Second legal move, bottom to top flip. Do I see any in the negative region? I do not see a negative parentheses, so no. Step number 3, balance. Is there a balance? Yes. I see 4 tiles and 8 tiles. That means that I can take 4 tiles away from both sides. If I take 4 tiles away from both sides, that's gone, and 8 minus 4, and I'm left with 4. So let's go ahead and subtract 4 from each side. 3x equals x plus 4. That was a balance. Mr. McCoy, you missed a balance. That was not all. I noticed that there was an x and 3x on each side. You can balance that as well. Okay, now some people are going to start over and they're going to say, okay, 2x now equals 4. Or they're going to erase it. Is it okay to redo a legal move? Absolutely, redo a legal move. It's totally fine. Now, that would also be a side-side flip. If you moved this x by subtracting x, flipping it to the other side, side-side flip, that would also be acceptable. Now, our last legal move is going to be to regroup. If I have two x tiles, shaded is positive, okay? And I'm going to put 4 tiles in 2 groups. 1, 2, 1, 2. That means that I now have x as 2 is my regroup. Now, here's what you have to do to check your solution. Okay. A solution is the number that makes both sides equal. Watch, please. 3 parentheses plus 4 equals parentheses plus 4. And notice instead of x, I put the parentheses in, and I found my answer, x equals 2. So I'm going to write that in. Instead of x, I write the number 2. Except, Mr. McCoy, you had an error right here. This is not plus 4, this is plus 8. I took my equation and started over. But instead of the variable x, I wrote the value 2. Now let's go ahead and do the math. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4. 2 plus 8 is 10. Does 6 plus 4 equal 10? Yes, check. I got it right. Notice that there's a way for you to check your work and get it right every single time. So the rest of your work today, you are going to do B, you are going to do C, you are going to do D the exact same way. When you get your answer, x equals, y equals, k equals, you're going to go down to the very bottom and you're going to rewrite the equation. -2 minus 3 parentheses minus 2 equals -2 parentheses plus 8 minus parentheses. Instead of the variable, you're going to write the value. Over here you found, up here you're going to find that k, Mr. McCoy, you're going to find, oh geez, stop glitching on me. You're going to find that k is a number. You're going to take that number and you're going to put it where the variable was. This is verifying your work. This is checking your work to make sure that you got it right. So there's our lesson for today. Make sure that you take your time. It's about accuracy. It's about quality work, not quantity work. So today you learned how to check your solution to make sure that you are right. Stay tuned for our next lesson tomorrow. Thanks very much.